Hello, my dears. This is Romy here. I am back with the second demo class of day 2, that is paper 2 English. So, you know me all. I am here with literary classes, and we are taking an initiative to help you out to crack UGC NET. So, before starting the video, let me tell you that firstly like this video and comment and subscribe my channel if you haven't done yet. So, let us start. The fees installment, many students called me up and said, ma'am, can you provide us installment system? So yes, we have installment system for you. We have 4 installments and the interest rate is 0%. Time period is 14 days. So total fees is 11,500. Yes, this has been reduced to 5% because of only you people. So these are the installment numbers and dates to be submitted and installment amount. So please take a screenshot for future references. So please also note that the notes we are preparing are exclusively from books and of English literature that are of high quality, and we have 100% reliable material. I am telling you many times that there is no doubt in our material. And the MCQs are prepared from authentic books and reading. We are not using any blog or random material. It is exclusively from the high quality books. So let us start our lecture tour for the today, that is Old English Literature. My dear friends, Old English Literature is important. Why? Because it makes your link to the whole literature. We cannot say that our English starts from Chaucer. No, there are some backward links also. So, with studying only a little material, you can secure 1 or 2 questions of your paper. So, it started with Anglo-Saxon invaders in England in 450 AD. And this period is also called Old English period and Anglo-Saxon period. Anglo-Saxon has Germanic background, so the language they used was Teutonic. Teutonic language, as I have already told you, that it means that the language from this time to Chaucer and onward is only based upon the Anglo-Saxon impact. They started the pluralizing of the noun. Pluralizing of the noun means, for example, ox, oxen, this thing. So Teutonic means that the language of modern period in England and still was still related to Anglo-Saxon language. So that means it was used and it is still used from Anglo-Saxon language. So they were linked with Germania, a great body of Teutonic people. Dear friends, the things that have been highlighted are very important. You can take a screenshot also. So they were linked with Germania. In Roman historians, Tacitus Germania, so he has used Germans as barbaric and Romans as civilized. So this can be questioned in that form. In Tacitus Germania, who were considered as barbarians? There will be 4 options, so you have to select one. So Adam Bede, in his Ecclesiastical History of England, he said that the Germans were from Saxons, Anglos, and Lette. Okay, so these were the 3 regions from which the Anglo-Saxons came from. Saxons, Angles, and Lette. So, the low country of South Denmark and the east of Holland. So, Saxons appeared in that area. That is, low country of South Denmark and the east of Holland. Anglo-Saxon England, there were Saxon kingdoms, Anglican kingdoms, and Jutish kingdoms. My dear friends, this fact is important. 3 were there, Saxons, Anglians, and Jutish. So that Lette has been named as Jutish in the modern English. So in 410 AD, Roman came and they were shifted towards the western corner of England and they were known as Celtics. So this is Celtic or Celtic in American literature. Now North Sea, where they were known as Welsh. Now they were shifted to, these Romans were shifted to North Sea, and there they were known as Welsh. There can be a question, my dear friends, my dear learners. For example, where did the Romans known as Welsh? There will be four options. For example, Western Corner, East Midland, North Sea, and in British Kingdom. So you will know the answer is North Sea, where they were known as Welsh. Okay, so Arthurian stories were popular at that time. So this was all about the history of that time. Now let us move to Old English literature. So the earlier form that was used during Germanic origins was heroic poetry. Heroic poetry was used at that time, and the dialect that was used as West Saxon dialect. This question is important, that they used West Saxon dialect. In the written, it is written in the language we know as Old English or Anglo-Saxon, which is essentially the English language in an earlier stage of development. So that means the English language started developing from Old English period. When Germans came, when Anglos came, Saxons came, and Jutish came. This was the history. Romans also came, but they were shifted towards the west, and they were, when shifted toward North Sea, they were called Welsh, and during the west, they were called Celtics. Okay, so clear up till here? Then the Old English used heroic poetry, number one. Number two, it started developing English language. Number three, the West Saxon dialect was used. So why I am pointing out everything? Because this is the method to remember. You have to remember the facts in this manner. Okay. So the verse used alliterative and stressed without rhyme. Each line contained four stressed syllables. This is important. Many a times question comes on meter and syllables. So their verse was alliterative, stressed, without rhyme, and four stressed syllables. You know what is a syllable? For example, hello. How many syllables are there? Two. He and lo. Hello. And for example, cat. It has one syllable. So number of vowels we speak is equal to number of syllables the word has. Okay. So there was a definite pause, Sasura. Sasura's term was there in the paper in the last years. So you should know what is it. Sasura means two halves of each line and two stress in each half. For example, there is a break in between. In the middle of the line, there is a break. That is the Sasura. I will tell you in detail in the next classes of our coaching classes. Some 30,000 lines of Anglo-Saxon poetry have been survived. Nearly all of it contained four manuscripts. Religious poetry might be expected to have earned ecclesiastical care and preservation. So that means at that time religious poetry was popular. So this can be also a question. Which poetry was popular? Religious poetry was popular. Heroic poetry, which connects more directly with the Germanic origin of Anglo-Saxon, could not be expected to arouse any special interest. So, at that time, they were unable to arouse any special interest because the heroic poetry, which connects more directly with the German origins, was a failure. So, that means alliterative poetry is more important as compared to heroic poetry. You have to remember this fact. Okay, so before starting Beowulf, I want to discuss one thing with you. In the attendance form you have filled, there was a question that will you continue with us for the coaching classes? So some of you are writing, of course we will join, or you are writing, we will join for the next class. But that question was for a paid class with 6,000 per paper. So this question has been repeated in the next form also, next attendance form also. So fill that very carefully because we have to contact you on the basis of that form. I hope you understand. Thank you. Then Beowulf. Beowulf is an Old English poem of 3,802 lines. Now let me tell you the story of Beowulf. There are two events in the story. सबसे पहले number one, there is the Geatish hero Beowulf, and he kills a monster by attacking Herod, the Hall of Danish king Hrothgar. Okay, so he kills the monster, and by the second time, in the second half of the poem, Beowulf becomes the king himself, and Grendel, the monster whom he has killed, his mother came after the time of 50 years to take the revenge. Then at that time, Beowulf becomes strong enough. He faced Grendel's mother, and Grendel's mother and Beowulf both dies. So this is a historical poem. My dear friends, the Beowulf story will not be asked you in the paper. What will be asked, for example, how many parts the story has. The second part starts after how many years? That is 50 years. Who came to take the revenge? Grendel himself, Grendel's mother, Grendel's father, Grendel's brother. So you have to select Grendel's mother. So this type of questions are going to be asked from this. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of this. This is the story. Okay, next move. So the historical period of this poem is 6th century, with reference to Beowulf's king Hygelac by historian Gregory of Tours. So according to a historian, so the time period is 6th century. This can be a question because this is highlighted. So much material of the poem is legendary and paralleled in other Germanic historical mythologies in Norse, Old English, and German. So that means it is an old poem which has been used somewhere else in a same manner. Fine. So this is all about Beowulf. If you have any problem, have any query in today's lecture, please post it in comment section so that I can refer and I can answer you there only. Okay. Then next is The Wanderer. The Wanderer is a poem of 115 lines in Exeter book. Now what is Exeter book? Exeter book is a book of elegies where old elegies are restored. You might be knowing what is an elegy. Elegy is a poem of sadness, remorse. Earlier it was used as a celebration poem, but after Anglo-Saxon period or sometime during Anglo-Saxon period, it becomes a sad poem. The book is about telling the hardships of a man who has lost his lord. So in this poem, The Wanderer, the person has lost his lord, his God, and he is wandering here and there and crying and weeping for God. So that is why it is an elegy. So, my dear friends, from such books and such poetries, nobody is going to ask you plot. Facts will be asked from you. For example, here fact is 115 lines, Exeter book, hardships of a man on the loss of his lord, then powerful end of Ubi Sant passage. Now, Ubi Sant passage, what it is? Hold on, we will tell you. So by the end of every lecture of English literature, we will discuss minimum 5 facts. As I am sending you facts in your WhatsApp group, so same sometimes I will discuss these facts, or in all the lectures I will discuss these facts at the end, and you have to note down these facts in your notebook. I have already told you to maintain a diary and start writing these facts wherever you get it. And before the exam, before 3 days of exam, that means if the exam is on 18th, so 15, 16, 17, 3 days you will only revise. These guidelines have already been uploaded on my YouTube channel. You can go and watch. The video is how to crack NET in 15 days. I repeat, how to crack NET in 15 days. There is a video tell you how to use these tactics. Anyway, let's move. Ubi Sant, I will tell you at the end of the lecture. It begins and ends with a brief and bold statement of Christian consolidation, but that is not prevailing sentiment of the poem. Though the poem ends in Christianity, so there can be a question: which of the following poem ends in Christianity? So the answer is The Wanderer. Now this has a parallel poem, The Seafarer. Particularly, the letter's first half and similar arguments have been advanced for against the coherence of organization in both the poems. So that means the first half of this poem, The Seafarer, is related to Wanderer. Now we will discuss the Seafarer. So Seafarer is again in Exeter book and a poem of 120 lines. Now in this poem, Seafarer, there is a separation from God and the enjoyment of sea and later the hardships of sea also. United with God, united with sea, hardships of God or separation from God and hardships of sea. So the opening session tells us about the miseries and attractions of life at sea. So that means the hero might be a seaman or a fisherman. So next is transition to moral reflection on the transience of life. Transience of life means shortness of life. The writer laments that life is so short. So the writer talks about that why my life is so short and he laments about the same condition. Books end with a Christian prayer and Ezra Pound makes a loose but highly evocative translation of the first half of the poem. Now, this is very important question. I have already told you in my previous lectures, in the lectures that are uploaded on YouTube also, that you should compare the modern and pre-modern authors. You should read literature in comparison. If some famous writers such as Ezra Pound, Eliot, or any other writer has done some commentary over the Old English period, it is important for you from that perspective. Questions can be asked. Okay? So, the poem is divided between two halves, but it is debated. And some critics regard the didactic second part as an appendage to an earlier secular poem. Others see allegorical representation of human exile. So this last point you can skip because there are no hard and fast facts. In Old English period, I repeat, you should only focus on facts. Next, Widsith. Widsith is again a poem by 143 lines in Old English. It is an Exeter book and starts with the title Widsith. The first word of the poem is Widsith. This can be a question. Seafarer, Wanderer, Widsith, or Beowulf. Which of the following starts with their own title name? So the answer is Widsith. In this way, questions are asked in the paper. See, the paper's date has been extended, and I advise you, all of you, to please fill this exam so that you come to know how the questions are coming in the paper. So that if it is qualified, then well and good. If by chance it is not qualified in June, so you will definitely crack in December if you are with us. We will help you a lot in cracking the exam. Anyway, we were talking about Widsith. This is 143 lines poem in Old English, Exeter book. And a traveler's life is more imaginary than real and talks about the people he has visited. Now don't confuse it with Wanderer. Here the traveler is wandering, but this poem is Widsith. In Wanderer, what it was? He was lamenting for the loss of God. In Seafarer, the miseries and attractions at the life of sea and the loss of God. So remember everything. Book of Maiden, 325 line poem, written in 1000 AD about the battle fought in 19 991 AD at Meldon in Essex against Danish raiders. So it is against Danish raiders. It does not have any beginning and ending. And Danes are drawn upon the shores of river Pant, opposed by Byrhtnoth. Byrhtnoth is the hero of the poem. Byrhtnoth dies at the end, and English were defeated. He dies because he become very obsessive with himself. How? Let us see. Byrhtnoth is killed and English are defeated. It happens so partly because some of his men flee, but partly too because Byrhtnoth of a mod, his excessive pride. That means he becomes proudy. So, Offermod is the name of his pride. This can be a question. Who is the hero of the poem? Who is defeated at the end? What is the name of the pride of Byrhtnoth? These all can be the questions in your paper. So read each and everything with heart. We are going to provide you notes, the notes of paper 1 who have signed or who have attended the session and marked the attendance. I have already mailed them. Okay. So tomorrow or on 20th of June, that means I am recording this lecture at night. So that is why on 20th of June, that is today, you have to mark the attendance by 3 p.m. and after that the link will be deactivated and you can find the link in the description box. I will put on my WhatsApp status also and I will send you in the status also or in the link form also, both. I will upload on Facebook status also. So next, second half of the poem is concerned with loyalty of the followers by not of their dead leader. That means the hero is dead, but his followers are along with him. Second half is more powerful as compared to first. So this is why this book is lost because of the fire at Cotton Library, but the keeper has kept it with himself. Some of the parts have been kept by himself and rest all of the book has been destroyed. Fine. So what we have read till now before husband's message, we have read Battle of Maldon, we have read Seafarer, we have read Wanderer, we have read Beowulf, and we have read Widsith. Okay, so if you want to revise, watch my video twice or thrice, that will help you. So next is the husband's message. It is just a short 53-line poem in Exeter book about the message from a husband to his wife who has gone to some other land and asking her to join him. So there is no hard and fast fact in this poem, but how it can be asked, for example, which of the following is Anglo-Saxon poem? Now there is a difference between Anglo-Saxon and Anglo-Norman. Sometimes we get confused. We feel that all period is Old English, but no. Only Anglo-Saxon period is Old English and the other one is Anglo-Norman period, that is after 1066 AD. So that is why I have prepared a single lecture over this. Now there is the Cardamom group. Cardamom group means his brother, that is Adam Bede and Cardamom. Adam Bede, in his Ecclesiastical History of England, he wrote about Cardamom's hymns and how he had a vision and how he was gifted by the way of writing poetry. And after that, he was honored by Hilda of Whitby to become a monk. Afterward, he sang many biblical events. Okay, so hymns that Bede has quote have 9 lines in length and displaying a remarkable degree of qualities of repetition. So there is a 9-line poem, but there is a quality repetition in these lines. Then Genesis, Exodus, and Daniel. These are the shorter poems, part of Christ and Satan. There can be a question in paper. out of the four poems which is not a part of Christ and Satan. So if you have attended the lecture, if you have read the material, only then you can attempt such questions. Fine. So at the best, they are strong and spirited with some gift for descriptive writing and choice of incident. At worst, they are tedious paragraphs or paraphrases of biblical stories. So it has some plus and minus, but what thing you want to remember or you should remember or you need to remember is Genesis, Exodus, and Daniel. These three are the part of Christ and Satan stories. Fine. Saint Wolf group. Now I have written the characters Juliana, Elene, Christ, and the fates of apostles. These are the four characters of Saint Wolf group. Saint Wolf was also a man who was gifted with writing poetry, and he used four characters in his works. And this is all that is known that of the poet, that though unfortunately it has not been prevented critics from deductive additional facts about his life. The Dream of Rood. Now Steenwolf's group includes The Dream of Rood, which is very important poem, religious poem, and we will discuss nextly. Now Dream of Rood, it is real artistic and poet, work of real artist and poet, and signed poems. The signed poems are much more scholarly composition than Cardamom poems. So that means it is more scholarly as compared to the works of Cardamom. And you can read this. This is not so important, just for general knowledge. You can take a screenshot. Now, Dream of Rood is written in Vercelli book. Vercelli book, what it is, we will discuss at the end of the lecture. We will discuss all the 5 terms we have used plus some extra knowledge. It is about the poet's vision of cross and crucifixion. So the hero of the poem is Christ himself. There is cross symbol, is the symbol of Christ, and the end is full of crucifixion. Okay. So the poem is about declaration of faith and confidence in heaven by the dreamer himself. This can be a question: who is the dreamer in Dream of Rood? The answer is Christ. Okay. Now let us come to developments of literature. What is poetry? What is poetry at that time? Poetry may Walder, Beowulf, Battle of Maldon. These are the important poems. There were epics written. The epics were generally related to Christian epics, and Beowulf is an epic which is the classical epic. There can be a question in paper: which of the following is the epic, proper epic? That can be a classical epic. Okay. Then the lyric has no real example in Old English. The first is elegy and second is lyric. So Wanderer and Seafarer are the two important lyrics. We have discussed Wanderer, we have discussed Seafarer. Prose was also there. So prose of Elfric and Wulstan were there, but we do not know much about them. So these are the only two writers that were famous at that time. You should remember these names already: Elfric and Wulfstan. Now, ready for the facts? Let us move towards the facts of the day. Bananas. Take your paper, take your pen, note down these facts. Bananas, a literary periodical which ran from 1975 to 1981, that means modern period. Bananas is a literary periodical of modern period. There are examples of periodicals. When it was my first lecture of webinar classes, Learning Legends, someone asked me, ma'am, give us some examples of magazines and periodicals. So here is the example. I hope that person is watching who raised this question. So Bananas is a modern periodical by Abigail Maudsley and the contributors. What is important in periodical? Name of the periodical, time period of the periodical, started by whom, and the writers contributing to it. So the writers are Ted Hughes, Ballard, Silito, Feinstein, Williams, and others. So these are the important writers. Take a screenshot. Ubisant. Now there was a word Ubisant. Remember where we have read Ubisant? That Wanderer is an Ubisant poem. So Ubisant is the opening words of the Latin poem Where Are They? Taken up in Old English poems such as Beowulf and particularly The Wanderer, and in Middle Ages English. So it is a style. That means when we write where are they? When we are asking kahan gaya? Now in the Wanderer, remember we talked about Wanderer, that it is about the wandering for the God, that he has missed his God, lost his God, and he is wandering. So he is saying Ubisant. Where are they? Where is my God? So this is Ubisant. Clear? Next is Dagon. Dagon is a national deity of ancient Philistines, representing half man, half fish. Milton's Paradise Lost shows him as fallen angel. Now, Milton is an important writer. Note down this point that Dagon is a national deity, half man, half fish, used in Milton's Paradise Lost as a fallen angel. Exeter book we have already discussed. It is about the most important poems of elegies written here, and it has been copied about 940 to Exeter Cathedral, where it still remains from 940. I get confused between 19 and 9 because we are not used to such. Anyway, so 1940s. Oh, I'm sorry. 940 to now, today, it still is preserved. Okay. So it contains Wanderer, Seafarer, Dior, Witsit, Ruin, Wolfman, Advocate. So wife lament, husband message, resignation. You need to only remember these names. No need to go to the depth. Okay. Fine. So these are the elegies restored in Exeter book. Is it clear? If you have any query, please ask me in the comment section. Mark it there. I will answer over there. So Vercelli book, we have discussed already. Vercelli book is about written during 1000 AD, and it is in the possession of North Italy. It contains prose sermons, about 3500 lines of Old English poetry. Okay. Dream of Rood is an example. That means the religious poem, prose sermons are received or reserved in Vercelli book. Two other four-sign poems, Cynewulf, Elene, The Fate of Apostles. Remember we have read the Cynewulf group. It also falls under this category. So let us move to the final part of this, that is solving the questions. As we have discussed yesterday, we will try to solve the previous year's papers questions. My dear friends, Old English period comes less in paper, but it is also small in size. So if you can read Old English period, and if there is a question, so there are chances that you solve this question and you get full marks. You know what? In net paper, what happens actually? There one question, two question, three question. For example, we know them. We know three questions, we will get 6 marks. We not know, we will lose 6 marks. And by 1, it becomes 50. How many things will you left? It's better to cover everything. I have told you already. Cover all the subjects. Okay. So, an ending to denote plural nouns, oxen, children, ridden, was in Old English period. If you remember, I have written in the first or second slide that they started pluralizing the nouns. Then, Middle English period, Hector is a character. Now see the word Middle English period. But we are talking about Anglo-Saxon or Old English period. So that means Beowulf is not the answer. But why I have put it here? Because the options are also important. You should not only focus upon the questions, but you should also focus upon the options. So the answer is Troilus and Cressida. So thank you for watching my video. Do like, comment, share and subscribe this channel. And please do not forget to fill the attendance form to get the notes. And the link of attendance form is given in description box. It will be posted in Facebook group and in WhatsApp group also. So thank you for listening to me. Bye bye. Have a nice day.